Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Assemble, the show where you come for your rambling, geeky download. My name's Tommy, and I am delighted, as always, to be joined by my friend and co-host from across the pond. It's our resident robot bigot of the pod, DL.
Hello.
Hi,
I am a robot bigot. Have you ever been to Singapore?
AI bigot? Robot?
Those robots are slow, dude.
Oh, really?
Like, trying to go to the bathroom, they're like in the way. Like, with all the... Not a big fan.
What about the robot? What about the robot toilets in like Japan? They're the bomb. How can you?
Now that's a robot I can stand behind. One that wipes my own ass.
Or sit in front of.
I can stand behind that robot, but the rest. Now I got to be honest. Like this movie, the main topic of today, which I won't. Well, I guess you've already read. If you've come into this and not read the title, I'll be impressed. The main topic today, they really have a strange take on, who's going to be really, really good on human rights. I think when you look at where our world is today, suddenly
isn't that interesting?
There's a big 180, I think. Anyway, we'll get to that. How you doing, man?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Yeah, taking along nice. You just got back from the States, hey? How's the jet lag?
It's not great, but we don't. No one wants to hear about it.
What time did you wake up today?
I actually stayed up late and slept in till like 8:30. So
oh, really? That's
and fix it. Yeah.
That's how you fucking get back on track, right?
But I got like 6 hours probably. I don't know. I'll check
my
Oura ring.
Dream. I'd love to get 6 hours.
What do you mean? 6 hours is not enough.
The partner snores like a dying warthog. We've had this conversation many a time.
You gotta fucking deal with it, dude. 6 hours is not enough. Go sleep in here.
Yeah, man. I might have to.
Studio.
I might have to. Yeah, I'll pod in my sleep. That's all I do nowadays. Eat, sleep, pod, repeat.
Eat, sleep, pod, repeat.
You know how it is.
Yes, I do.
Hey guys, look, if you want to stick around and hear us banter about our days, feel free. Otherwise, there will be time codes in the description. As always, they will be there, but they are subscribed. I can't think of words today, DL. What am I talking about?
I don't know. It's a tough morning for you. We're starting.
That coffee
strong.
has not kicked in yet. They will be supplied by friend of the show and editing master, Mr. Matthew Bliss, whose details we will give you at the end of the pod. Stick around, wait for them. But DL,
yes,
I got a question for you.
Yes,
if people had the podcast app open on their phone,
yes,
and they had the option to give a rating to the show, how many stars do you think they should give?
0. No, 5. Give 5. Give whatever, dude. We just need engagement.
Yeah, we love those 5 stars. We love it if you give them to us. Thank you. And we got a few which we really appreciate. We should do like a competition or something for giving us stars on the podcast.
That seems like we're bribing people.
Yeah, but isn't that how people get everywhere in life?
I guess. Touche.
If you want Podcast Assemble merch, hit us up with a 5-star and we will read out. DL will read out your review.
No matter how vulgar.
No matter how vulgar.
No matter
how random.
Random, vulgar.
Give a review of an Amazon product. I don't care what you do.
We will not censor. Yeah.
Have we ever?
I don't know, but we won't start.
DL, what have you been up to in your time away, mate? What have you been doing?
I have been doing other than gallivanting around Hawaii and LA.
Sounds terrible, mate. Sounds like the worst kind of life.
No, it was good, man. This jet lag's hitting me harder than most, but I think it's because it was so quick. So you kind of like aren't really adjusted anywhere. But what have I been doing, man?
You were away for what, like a week?
Yeah, a week and like 2 days.
Just
in 2 days.
Yeah, nice.
So it's like, I've been doing a lot of catching up on stuff, I guess, and I basically finished Rebels, Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, because you've been chipping away.
And then also
talk about Rebels. Take your time.
Yeah,
I want to hear about this because I would say of all my friends, geeky friends, you're one of the least likely to jump into something like Star Wars Rebels.
Really? Yeah, I'd agree with that. But
you did it, and you've smashed it.
Yeah, I did smash it. It was good.
A lot of content.
It was. I mean, the Rebels isn't as bad as Clone Wars. Clone Wars is like I didn't finish that.
Okay,
too much.
Do you think it's set you up well for Ahsoka?
Yes. I don't know how you watch it without watching Rebels.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
I kind of don't get how you do it.
It's very confusing for the most part.
Although episode 5 of Ahsoka, you could watch without fully watching Rebels.
Which one was episode 5? Remind me.
If you just watched a couple of the Ahsoka, like ones from Clone Wars and maybe one from Rebels, like 3 episodes.
Well, that's what Disney did. They released like a list of 10 things you should watch before watching Ahsoka, which is a lot of stuff.
That's the one with all the it's like the kind of Scrooge McDuck one where they go back in time through the
Scrooge McDuck, the life tree.
Yeah, they go through the what do they call it? The world between worlds or something.
Okay, and she sees Anakin,
and she sees like versions of Anakin.
I loved that. That was great.
Epic. Yeah, it was really cool.
Like, I didn't need to see the rebels to see that because I got what was going on. She was going through her memories. Like, I didn't need to have known all this stuff.
Yeah, but like, there's like, it's more about like who Ahsoka is. If you miss things about like the guilt she wears, like she leaves the Jedi Order at like the peak of Anakin's like, I guess, disillusionment.
Scent.
Like they're friends, like, right? It's like if Obi-Wan abandoned Anakin, right?
Let the hate flow through you.
And so like she leaves because like she doesn't agree with the way they're doing things. The same way Anakin doesn't. And like kind of he has no one around him.
But he stays.
He stays, and we all know what that.
Does that say a lot about the Jedi Order?
No.
The one who goes is still good, and the one who stays
It does. But I think also it's more that he stays and then betrays them because of like he's got a tie with Padme.
Sure.
Where she doesn't have that same tie. Her only tie was Anakin.
He's got a tie, so like they drew, so it was like 0-0.
Not like a tie. Like, she's tied to. Anyway, I've really been enjoying Ahsoka because of that, and I think
we'll do an Ahsoka episode maybe next week. It finishes next week.
Yeah, I'm down. I haven't watched the most up to date one, but I think it's like the best Star Wars shit that's come out in a while.
No, that's Andor 100%.
Other than Andor,
Andor's the
but
only
like
thing else.
Jedi stuff.
Okay, with lightsabers in.
Yes,
I'd say so. It's pretty good.
It's like by far.
I didn't think I've needed I don't think I've needed. We'll talk about it next week. I don't think I've 100% needed it so far, but like it's fine. I feel like
I mean, you don't need anything.
Yeah,
needed it. I just think it's like taking Star Wars in a good direction.
Okay,
like vagueness and like it's not just black or like black and white or
red or blue.
Sith and Jedi. Like
absolutely, isn't that the path?
Yes, the bad
Sith?
guy. One of the bad guys is actually like his lightsaber's like orange.
Yeah,
not
at the
fully
start
red.
It looks like it's gotten redder throughout. I think he passed away. After it finished filming. So like it's Ray something. I'll
Did he really?
look down the background, which is a shame.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah, because he's pretty good in it.
I was actually really down to have more of him.
Yeah, I thought he was a slow start, but it's got cooler as it goes through.
Yeah, I like him.
Like he's a bit like deadpan, but like I kind of like
it. But I vibe it.
Yeah. Well, I did a cool thing this week, DL. Me and a couple of the boys, we decided it'd be a fun idea to do something super nerdy last Friday night. I think you'd like this, actually. There's one in Bondi Junction, but we actually went to one out in Mascot.
Okay.
Have you ever played, like, zombie VR? Have you ever done that?
No, but I'd like to.
It's so much fun.
The Bondi Junction one?
Yeah, so we didn't go to the Bondi Junction. We went to a different one that's like a warehouse almost in Mascot, right by the airport. And what it is you effectively have this big old, like, it actually just looks like, what are they called? Like a bulletproof vest, effectively, but with like a big old like computer in it. And you have your gun, you have a big visor on, you got headphones on. You're basically completely immersed in this thing.
Wow.
And you're just in a big rectangle.
Yeah, I've seen them.
It's the environment, it's the environment in the VR headset that stops you going into a wall or into one of your mates or something. It's a lot of fun, man. Yeah. Oh, it was so much fun. I mean, we did like a pretty generic, like, kill the zombies. There's like a zombie outbreak, but they had other ones like, Far Cry. They had a Far Cry one.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of different stuff and it looked sick. I'd love to do it again.
Is it hard?
Nah, super fun. I mean, I'm good. I'm good at games, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you play games, it's good.
Like literally with the zombies one, everything's a headshot. Just keep shooting for the head and you're going to do fine.
Yeah.
But like I used the shotgun a lot at the beginning. So the gun has different settings. So you hit like a button and it changes to a shotgun. Or you can pick up like a minigun, for example, and you can only use it until it runs out.
Okay.
And but the shotgun, so I was just using that the whole time. It's basically a one-shot kill if they're close enough. But it's it's like full pump action, so you've got to pump it properly, and it's like not easy. And I did it for the first half an hour, and like my arm was like knackered.
Like you're just tired.
I was like, I'm so tired. So I had to switch back to machine gun just because I was so tired of doing this.
Goes to show, man, it's not easy being a fucking video gamer.
Mate, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I'd highly recommend it if you get the opportunity. I can't remember exactly the name of this one, but we'll check it out together at some point. We'll get a few of the guys together and go and do it because for like $69, it's not cheap, but for an hour, I'd say it's worth it.
Okay. I mean, I'd be down.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm in.
You're in. We'll pick a different one for you.
Easy.
Maybe we'll pick an AI one.
Zombie one.
I think the zombie one's the same as the zombie one I did previously. So I've done it once before when I used to live in Melbourne. And I'm pretty sure it's the same, but it's a lot of fun. It's very good.
We'll do it.
You do love a zombie thing, but it's not limited ammo or anything. It's not your style. It's
limited ammo should be a thing.
Yeah.
You don't have unlimited ammo in real life.
Well, we talked about this. We were saying, like, how would you make this cooler or better? Yeah. So, well, that's it. But then, like, because it's like zombie hordes, like, if you run out of ammo, how do you beat them? You can't run in there. So you can't just run past them. Like you'd need to use it as like a melee weapon, or like you could change it into like a knife or something.
Can you imagine just swinging and just hitting people? There's a reason
or smashing the wall.
There's definitely a reason they don't have that. Just fucking head check somebody.
That's all it reminds me.
Yeah.
The first time I did it, I was a significantly younger man. So I was like mid-20s and I was a little bit dumb and young, and as you do. And the first thing I did, I got in there and I just got too excited, and this massive like backpack thing on. I did like a forward roll.
Oh my God.
I went full commando and did a forward roll, and they stopped the whole thing.
And they said, "Stop
They made
it."
take all our headsets off, and they were like, "No,
You
no,
bad boy."
And I was like, I'm sorry. They almost made me not play.
That's embarrassing for you.
Yeah. Imagine not playing. Oh, God.
Imagine having to watch everyone play because you did a fucking G.I. Jane commander role.
It's pretty funny watching other people do those things and you're not in it because you obviously don't have the experience.
It's like, go left.
And you're just like, what the fuck is that?
Is it like watching a silent disco?
Yes.
Without the headphones?
100%. But everyone's like...
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Oh, man, it's so much fun to watch.
It's funny,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Funny.
It is funny. Go on, man. What else have you been up to? Give me a couple more.
What else have I been up to, man? I watched Shane Gillis' stand-up about like weird dogs or whatever.
I've not seen that.
That's funny. Yeah,
Is
you
Shane
told me to
Gillis?
watch it.
Oh, I think I have. Sorry, yeah, I know.
Strange Dogs.
What did you reckon?
He's gay. He's good. I mean, like he's
gay.
funny.
He's good.
No, yeah, he's good.
Okay,
he's like he's funny. He's very not PC, which I like.
Yes, I like that as well. It's comedy, man. Like you've got to be.
Yeah, he's funny, man.
Isn't he in Joe Rogan's little sect?
Yeah, he's one of the crew.
He's one of the crew.
He's in the sphere of influence of Joe Rogan. The money-making sphere.
Getting all that Spotify money.
Yeah, dude. Just like anyone that he brings on, I think just instantly makes like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
20 million followers. Hundreds of dollars.
That's pretty cool for him.
I tell you what I did. I finished a show that you talked about. And we finished this. Actually, we finished it surprisingly quick, considering I didn't assume the partner was even going to be into it. But we finished Severance. Did we talk about this?
That show's so good.
I'm sure we've talked about this, but we
didn't. You didn't talk about the end. Didn't talk about the ending.
Okay, it's good.
I want
spoilers
in
in
my
Severance,
life
by the
are
way.
shows like Severance.
Yes,
like that's the quintessential. It like I got the same feeling of that as I got the feeling of Yellow Jackets for the first time. Like peak television,
different vibe,
very different, but like that enthralled.
Yeah,
peak
okay.
Television,
but it's that
prestige,
prestige television, and
prestige.
It's that water cooler. It's that drags you in and makes you just have to watch the next episode.
I've heard about a book. Have you heard about the Red Rising series?
I'm halfway through reading it.
Oh, I've heard very good things about this. I may have to read it with you.
It's good. I'm only halfway through. So.
I've heard it gets way better.
Okay.
Yeah, like the first trilogy is like pretty good.
Wait, how many books are there?
He's apparently written 3 more or something.
Bloody hell.
And it's like it turns into Game of Thrones where it's like different POVs.
As
opposed to one.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The first book I am okay with. It's just taken like a major like derailed change. I was like, all right, that's interesting. And like it starts. I'm not going to ruin anything for you by saying this. It is effectively the whole point of this first book is it is sort of like an abstract view of like how the rich rule society in the real world, but like how slavery is, how enslaved middle classes are, and how like we don't even realize it, and all these things. Like it's a real abstract view of but in quite a well formatted idea. Like, do you know anything about the idea behind it?
No, I'm kind of going in completely raw.
I'm not going to give you anything about it. It's set on Mars, but it's interesting, and I'm liking it. I haven't had a lot of time to read it of late, but it's not that big a book, so I'll fly through it. Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it once I'm done with it.
But Severance.
That's book. Sorry to distract. Severance, phenomenal, dude. Just good so ending. Good. The twist is so good.
So, like, continuing the spoils for Severance, the ending was effectively that the setup for the show, if anyone doesn't know what Severance is, it's effectively you can sever your brain and have 2 distinct personalities. You have your outside personality, so your work and outside personalities are split. Your work personality knows nothing about your outside life. It is completely separate. It is this entity that has no idea of anything outside of work. And it's about effectively these 4 characters who kind of want to find out about their outside selves, right?
Yeah.
And they're a bit like, why are we locked in here? Why are we trapped? Talking of slavery.
Yes,
a bit like, why are we the slaves here? Yeah, it's mad. It's super interesting. And the idea is that they kind of break out for a short time.
Well, like I don't want to spoil it too much, to be honest.
You're spoiling it. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they eventually do find a way to break out, but like
for a short time.
The season ends like it's a very big cliffhanger.
Yes. They had to give it a season 2.
Well, so I'm reading about it as we speak. So it's like, actually, why isn't that out yet? It came out so long ago.
Okay, when did it come out?
I think like 2021.
Okay, carry on.
I'm sorry to report, Esquire says, that last year's best new television series has become severed.
No.
From its work second half. Basically, following the strike and rumors of drama behind the scenes, production on the Apple TV show has been halted indefinitely, according to Deadline, forcing audiences to sit with the first season's amazing cliffhanger just a while longer. Mark asks, hold on, buddy. It's pretty good. Basically, Ben Stiller came in and shut down rumors of drama surrounding like the two co-creators.
Okay.
Apparently, the two had ended up hating each other on the first season per multiple sources.
Wow.
No one's going to break the room, apparently, is what Stiller said. We love our fans. We just want to make it good. So they're just trying to make it good, apparently, or cover up co-creator drama.
Okay, co-creator drama. Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, I hate you, so like, and we work together all the time. So
we work together a very limited amount of time. So like, you don't have to hate me too much.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate you, bud.
Thanks, mate. Love you too.
But I do think that's ridiculous. Come on, just make the show.
I mean, could you make it without both co-creators? Like, do you need like? I mean, that's the question, really, isn't it?
I guess that's probably what they're working through.
Yeah,
I think that they did. I think that the rumor was that it was like a pretty big creative difference. Like they wanted to take it different ways. So
why that? Okay, right. Imagine this. Imagine this future. You split the budget in half, and you go half and half, and you make both series. You make two alternate versions of the series. How fucking sick would that be? Severance A and Severance B. So you get the one creator who goes off and does his version and see where that goes. And you get Severance B where you go off and create that version, see where that goes. And whichever sticks, you go for. That would be sick.
Will never happen.
I know it won't, but like, how good would it be?
Or you just like use the conflict to create something really fucking good.
Boring.
All creatives have conflict, and that's the forces that push against each other are what make it kind of the best. Like when you watch the Beatles documentary, you can really see that with George Harrison and how different he is from fucking Paul McCartney. Yeah.
And John. Yeah, all right. Interesting. Yeah. What else we know, buddy? One more?
Not much, man. That was a lot that I went through.
Okay. I mean,
Rebels is a lot. All of Rebels and caught up on Ahsoka. That was a lot. There's probably something else, but I can't think of it right now.
I got one final one for you then. Yeah. So I watched a new thing on Netflix, and this is one that kind of popped up recently, and I was like, it's got Jamie Foxx, it's got John Boyega, and it's got like a pretty cool cast. It's called They Cloned Tyrone. And I was a bit like, yeah, I saw the trailer, and I was like, what is this? Effectively.
It is kind of that kind of like movie. You're like, what the fuck is this like title?
John Boyega's like a low-level drug dealer. Jamie Foxx is a pimp. And then I've forgotten the actress's name.
Jamie Foxx is a pimp.
Yeah, no, literally. And he dresses like an 80s pimp. It's great.
He would love that.
Yeah.
I love that for him.
It is a lot of... I had a lot of fun with it. Like, it's pretty... It's interesting. Like, the themes of it are pretty deep. Like, the tones of it are a bit like... pretty heavy tones, like deaths early on and like, deaths in the family and what that means. And as the title suggests, there may be cloning involved as well.
You would think so.
If you've seen the trailer, that strongly hints at that too. It's kind of good. I kind of had fun with it. It's a bit like dumb.
It's gotten good reviews, I thought.
Yeah, it's gotten some pretty good reviews. I gave it a go. I had a lot of fun with it. I'd recommend. I don't think your partner would love it. I had to wait till the partner was out. I couldn't watch it when she was
time
there.
Now.
You got time, buddy.
Better add it. It's already on the list, so I'll just give it a watch.
Give it a tell me thing. I think Jamie Foxx as an 80s type pimp is fucking hilarious.
I think Jamie Foxx in general.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a stroke?
He had a mystery illness and came back.
Oh, wow.
Did you see the rumors that they'd cloned Jamie Foxx and replaced him?
No.
Did you see that?
I missed those.
The irony of this film coming out at the same time.
He was probably like, fuck. Well, when that rumor came out and then he was like in this movie, he was probably like, fuck.
Well, he came back and he was like super pale, like had lost all his color, like lost a load of weight.
Oh, jeez.
And everyone was like, they've replaced Jamie Foxx
with a clone.
I love all these rumors of replacing. Have you seen all these? That everyone's been replaced. Avril Lavigne, like you name it.
I've heard of that one. That one's so ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
My brother told me about that. Yeah. Well, Britney Spears, I don't know.
Weird.
She's just cooked. Have you follow her on Instagram?
I do not, but I know a lot of
It's so weird, dude.
Do you know where she's dancing with knives?
Yes. It's so weird, dude. Just enjoy your money. Stop doing weird things.
Well, that's it. She didn't have any of the money until recently.
Yeah, so now she's just gone fucking all the way the other the other.
Well, that's what they were worried about, wasn't it? I highly recommend go and watch They Clone Tyrone. A lot of fun.
And Severance.
And 100% go and see Severance. Highly recommend both. What we do now is we like to do a little bit of what we call Have You Heard? Which is kind of news, kind of not news. It's stuff off Instagram we've seen that we like the idea of talking about. And this week, we have some fabulous news. I went full Donald Trump then. Did you see that? I went, this week, we have... it was the hand motion.
Best news. We have the best news. Fantastic news.
Fantastic news. It's the hand motion. I can't do the accent.
Just to go out on a side, I know we don't like to get political. I cannot wait
it's not a political podcast.
To see Vivek, the new up-and-coming Republican candidate.
Okay. Go against him.
Trump, because I know within like 30 seconds he's gonna like this guy's doing really well. I don't think Trump is just gonna destroy. He's
just gonna make fun of him.
He's just gonna be like, who is this little brown man? Why is he yapping like a chihuahua?
Didn't he call one of them like the donut boy or something? And he's never recovered.
He's just like a troll.
He's like and
you cannot win.
It's literally
you cannot win. The only one that has a good chance of winning is Biden, because he's so dumb. He just won't acknowledge. He's just like, what? Like, that's the only way you can like actually beat Trump is by like
not being intelligent
engaging.
Enough.
Yeah,
well, you almost be less intelligent.
Yes, the less intelligent you are, the better.
Yeah,
the less engagement.
I think the next presidential candidate who tries to take on Trump, their whole thing should just be every time Trump says something, they'll be like, "Your mom said what?" Like,
that's actually
idiot said what? What?
What are you referring to? I cannot hear you. It's like those customer service agents when you're on the phone with your phone provider. It's very Indian accent. I do not understand. Like, that's what he's going to do.
I just want
Vivek is
to cancel my phone.
Yeah.
We went way too deep into American politics. DL, did you hear this week?
Yes.
True Detective Season 4. It's got a new trailer out, baby. Did you watch it? You did watch it.
I did watch it.
What did you think?
I thought it looked cool, bit of a snore fest, the characters.
Interesting. I liked it.
Just like,
it looks like a devious new mystery.
Just Jodie Foster, though.
Oh, you don't like Jodie Foster?
But look, I'm going to like it, I think, because like I love like mystery thriller crime dramas. And True Detective is the peak.
Yeah, it's like
so,
peak
like,
TV.
Am I going to watch? Yes. Am I going to like it? Probably. Do I like Jodie Foster overall? No.
This might change your mind on her.
Probably not.
Why does she offend you so much?
Because she's just the same actress in everything.
Is she your Liam Neeson?
Everybody loves her, and I'm like, don't get it.
She's your Liam Neeson.
No, because she's more esteemed than Liam Neeson.
I'm not saying she's not.
So like, it's not a comparable.
I'm just saying you dislike her for no reason.
Be like, that's a good question. Who is my Liam Neeson?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Like, who's a really like a tier B actor? Like Liam Neeson's not tier A.
Who gets paid way too much money to do the same movie.
Who's like got a little bit too much credit for just doing the same thing all the time.
So many of them.
That's like Ryan Gosling, but Ryan Reynolds, but I like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's good.
So
they've just brought back Welcome to Wrexham, by the way. That's new to.
I have saved that. I was gonna watch it.
Season out now.
I've saved it on Apple TV.
Okay, we probably will start it this week.
My Liam Neeson is.
Every time you speak like that, I just think the Trump accent.
My Liam Neeson is the guy that fights the big shark.
Oh, Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he's probably more like C. Like Liam Neeson is regarded as higher than him, I would say.
Really? I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe not in British circles.
Good question.
Where they drink tea. Maybe not.
Nah, he talks like this.
Yes.
He's just an angry ball man. He just looks like a cue ball.
He is a cue ball.
If there isn't a scene in that new shark film, The Meg 2, where he headbutts the Meg, I'll be very upset. That's all I'm going to say. He has to headbutt the Meg.
Do you want to put a bet?
Does he in the first one?
No, so that makes me think odds are
he might headbutt.
We're getting a fucking headbutt. He's like, contrary to popular opinion, you don't poke the nose, you headbutt it.
You headbutt the nose. Well, anyway, True Detective Season 4. Look, I'm personally super excited about this. Like, I don't have the same hatred of Jodie Foster you do.
Hatred is a strong word.
Okay.
Distaste. Did I say I hate her?
I mean,
I may have just literally said that 30 seconds ago. But hatred is a strong word. And you should have used it,
Hatred is a path to the dark side. Yeah. Working in absolutes. I'm too Donald Trump today, aren't I?
Fear.
I don't mind her. Callie Reese looks good in this as well, who's the other protagonist alongside Jodie Foster. They've got like a good love-hate dynamic, I feel. I think all the characters in these True Detectives.
I like that they introduce like the racial thing with like having they have a native Alaskan.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
As one of the detectives, which always like amps up the tension, I think.
And you were telling me...
Yeah, like the way they did with season 3 as well.
Yeah, and you were telling me that this might link back to season 1.
Yes, which would be kind of... And now that I know that Nick Palaziato, that's his name, I believe it is not a part of this because Netflix snatched him up for a big contract.
Ooh.
It'd be kind of rude to like continue his award-winning story without him.
Yeah.
But it looks like they are because there's a lot of connections. Like Cole from season 1, Matthew McConaughey's character, is from Alaska. And multiple times they bring up he is from Alaska and he goes back there during his time in between the two timelines in season 1. Not only that, the spiral thing is seen in the trailer from season 1.
Ooh.
Not only that, season 3, they re-emphasize that this case was never fully closed and lots of people thought it was a broader conspiracy because they only got like their one guy.
Yeah.
They didn't get all the people.
Nick.
So it does feel...
Pizzolatto
will be... I'd be pretty pissed if like they kind of continued my story without me, but I guess, that's why he got paid. Probably got the right. They probably sold the rights.
Yeah.
To like the name True Detective.
Yeah. I know what they went for. They went for that whole, these are disparate stories and they're all just different. Like, fair enough, but like, they really caught something with that first series. And I think even the third one could kind of loop into it.
Yeah, but it's mainly like, what they caught was just like two fucking actors at their prime.
Oh, absolutely.
With like phenomenal writing and like a strong tone the entire way through with the same director for the entire season. I just don't think like bringing that back will like create that magic necessarily. They should do it if the story makes sense.
I'm not saying that, but I mean like even little links, having it and then like maybe somewhere down the line them having like some sort of crossover. Could be a lot of fun.
Could be cool.
Could be fun.
Could be cool.
All right. This is coming out on January 14th. So that is way sooner than I was expecting. But that's fun.
It's still like, what, 4 months away? January's 4 months away. God, I got a lot of stuff to do with my wedding.
You say that like that's going to come way quicker than you think it will.
It always does.
Anyway, DL, did you see this week there is another trailer, but this time it's more of a teaser. It's a stinger for the new Devil May Cry anime show, which is coming to Netflix. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Devil May Cry is one of my all-time favorite video games. Like, I played this growing up. I played all of them, even the crap one. I've played it to death.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm pretty sure, check the tapes, but we did an episode on video games that would go really well on screen. And I'm pretty sure this is one I called out. So I'm pretty chuffed about this.
You are right.
But it's an anime, right? And it's
actually perfect for anime.
Yeah. It's in the vein of like those Castlevania ones as well, which I really liked. You liked them too.
Did you finish those?
I don't think I finished the final season.
I finished it.
It got weirdly horny at one point, and I was like, I'm not sure.
At one point.
Was it always through?
At one point? Bro, it was like full on BDSM like sex scenes like every season.
No.
Yes.
Between the vampires?
And the vampires and the humans and the vampires.
I don't remember the... all right.
It was a
the humans.
VH.
Oh.
You know how they have like male, female, male, female?
That sounds...
Vampire, human, vampire, human, vampire, human.
That sounds very much like an STI.
You might get one.
You pick that up if you go to the wrong sex party. VH. Oh my God, I've got it.
Dude, that reminds me. Did you ever see the movie It Follows?
No. Good?
Fucking phenomenal horror movie.
Who's in it?
Where it's basically like, read the premise for the audience. Sorry, this is an aside, but it's so good.
Is this linked any way?
Yes, to VH.
Let me see this. Okay. After carefree teenager Jay sleeps with her new boyfriend, Hugh, for the first time, she learns that she is the latest recipient of a fatal curse. I have heard of this. That is passed from victim to victim by sexual intercourse.
VH.
Like, what the fuck?
Bro, it sounds ridiculous. It is horrifying and fucking, it's a great movie. It sounds ridiculous. The premise sounds ridiculous, but it's so scary.
So, to get rid of the curse, you have to pass it on, or you're just going to die regardless?
You have to pass it on.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Knowing that the person you're giving it to is going to die.
Once you're done, you're free.
You're out, baby.
But if, so you can just keep passing it on theoretically. And no one dies.
What?
Does that make sense?
No. Explain that again.
You have a sexual relationship with someone.
Yes.
You are cursed.
Yes.
When you do that, you pass the curse on to this person.
Yeah.
It no longer follows you. It follows that person.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That person then has sex with someone else. It no longer follows them. It follows. So theoretically, we could just keep this train going.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yes. But someone dies, it goes back to the last person.
Oh.
So you're never fully... until
they have sex again.
Yeah. you
couldn't just like
you're never fully like safe.
So you couldn't just like have sex with like, I don't know, this is gonna sound grim as fuck.
Like
you couldn't just have sex with like an old person who's just about to die anyway.
No, because it'll come back.
Because it'll come back. Ah, man, that's brutal.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
It's not a fun curse.
I don't like that. That wigs me out a lot.
That's what VH is.
Well, maybe it is. Coming back to the original point, Devil May Cry animated series. You gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I think it looks pretty good, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't have picked a better game for it. It's got like a bunch of cool lore. The games go deep into like his relationship with his brother, who becomes the bad guy, and blah, blah, blah. It's really good. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. And he's got long white anime hair.
He has long white anime hair.
You must say that.
It's interesting because the clip you get in the trailer, he does talk in it, and he's very like, woo, yeah. But like the character on screen is quite like deadpan and sarcastic in the games. He's super just like, fuck yeah.
Question.
Go on.
Is every anime character an emo?
I mean, a lot of them are.
I don't think I know one that isn't.
A lot of them are, yes. I watched a really interesting...
question. Is every Final Fantasy character
absolutely. Every Final Fantasy protagonist
is an emo.
Has to be an emo. Without... Actually, no, Final Fantasy 9 was the one that broke that rule.
Well, you have an afro?
No, he had like big curtains and like a long little ponytail.
Curtains count.
Curtains and a ponytail.
Curtains and a
ponytail?
Yeah,
blonde,
more goth.
Blonde, and had like you know what his outfit looked like? You know what? Like, you know, there's that current 2000s trends of like jean everything coming in.
Yeah,
it looked like a jean outfit that like had the sleeves cut off, like a full jean outfit.
Nice.
Yeah, no, not nice.
Fucking vibe.
Shite. It looked terrible.
Fucking wear that next time I see you. All right, moving on.
If you do, I would fucking love to see that. All right, moving on. What else you got, DL?
The SAG strike is not over.
No, it's not.
But the writer's strike is
coming to an end. Yeah.
Yeah, they've made a theoretical agreement.
That's good news.
Some kind of theoretical, I guess, an in principle agreement.
In principle.
It's like when I say like, yes.
It's like a handshake.
Yes, exactly.
It's like in Jerry Maguire when he says like, my handshake is as solid as wood, and then they just break it immediately.
Does he do that? I don't remember Jerry Maguire.
It's a long time since I've seen that film. I can't really remember.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get people writing. That's good. And that means like when the actors eventually figure it out, we'll be ready to go.
Well, it's interesting.
There's so much content that I still have to catch up on that like I don't need them to create. Give me a chance.
I mean,
give me a chance.
We don't want people to be going hungry, DL. We want people to be making the money they deserve to make.
I don't want them to go hungry. I'm just saying, like, get what's yours. But just take 2 more months so I can catch up.
Go on a break. Have a nice holiday. Take that money.
Exactly.
So yeah, it went on for 146 days thus far, and it's great news. Basically, the spokespeople are saying it's a deal in principle, but the deal is exceptional, quotation marks. That's fantastic. We want everyone to be happy. Good timing for this when we're talking about AI things today. Kind of seems to be reflecting our society a little bit.
Yes, except the theme of this one is very different. Kind of the opposite.
Yeah, the polar flip of it, but like interesting little things running through there.
Yeah.
Final bit of news, NDL. Did you see this week? Loki season 2. It actually got brought forward a couple of days.
So
it now starts pretty much directly after Ahsoka, I think. I think it actually starts this coming week.
It's a vibe.
That's soon. However,
it's this week.
I think it's this week.
Shaka.
Shut the front door.
Shaka. Shut the barn door.
However, there was a rumor which Henry Cavill had been casted in this. We know it's got Ke-Huy Quang, the legend who is Short Round and from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
You know Short Round. Come on, from Indiana Jones.
Yes. I thought you were going to say like the legend that is like some like Marvel character.
No.
And I was like, so far I don't know who that is. so far I don't know that one.
No,
not very legendary.
I think he's made up for the show. It's all right. Don't worry about it. However, Henry Cavill, there's been a lot of casting rumors about him for a long time. He's been fan cast as Hyperion, who just a buff dude, basically. Buff blonde dude.
Adds up.
For a long time. I mean, he looks the part, looks Superman-esque.
Yeah.
Been there for a while, but apparently he's come around and dashed those rumors himself by saying, Soz bloods, not going to happen.
That is basically confirmation that it is.
That's what I said.
What I will say is the only Henry Cavill news I care about is him saying he wants to be in Red Dead 2 or Red Dead game. And that Red Dead 3 is being made. All these things are happening.
He definitely said that.
I know, but I want to double down on it and just say if he is, he'd be great in it. Now moving on.
As John Marsden?
As a character in it. Maybe Arthur, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway, I know I already talked about that, but I'm still excited about it.
No talking about Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Talk about it too much. Okay.
It's fair.
Look, guys, if you've heard any news that we haven't talked about, hit us up at Podcast Assemble on Instagram or thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. You can find us everywhere. We've got a website, www.podcastassemble.com. Send us memes, send us stuff. We love it when you do. Our contact details are all there. We will call you out if you give us a shout. DL.
Yeah.
Do you want to preface our main topic for this week?
Our main topic this week, which I did not know was the main topic until literally I went into the theater and asked, what movie are we watching? That's how jet lagged I have been, is The Creator, which is a 2023 movie about, just in theaters now, about AI and future and sci-fi and war, and
we will be talking about it.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk non-spoilers and spoilers for everyone, because it is a brand new movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it's just come out, so maybe you haven't.
Yeah.
There will be time codes, as I mentioned, so you can skip, you can hear what we think about it in top level, and then go and watch it.
And there's not, like, to be fair, there's not that many spoilers. Like,
there's a few.
But they're not, they're so predictable. Like, I don't think anyone would have.
Well, we will talk about that. DL, do you have a stupid plot summary for me?
I do.
I've got 2 this week.
Oh, look at you. Fucking teacher, give him a golden star. Like a modern day Instagram influencer who didn't finish her GED. The creator is very pretty, but beyond the surface, there's really not much there. Director Gareth Edwards said, let's make her stunning and figure the rest will follow. And maybe he's right.
He certainly tried.
Like, who's to judge these only fangirls?
I mean, only God can judge DL.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump. Mine is...
Pussies on the internet. Sorry.
No, don't. If Apocalypse Now, iRobot, and Avatar had a movie baby with different directorial parents or influences, the movie follows a man so creepy that when he gets rejected, he continues to stalk the girl after her death.
Yeah.
That's like...
Maybe.
The other one is really just simply like, we're dipping back into the reluctant father figure and daughter road trip well. Will we get sick of this anytime soon?
I am.
I'm getting a bit sick
close
of it now.
To getting sick of it.
I'm getting sick of it. Like, it's been done to death.
Yeah.
It really has.
Especially when it's not done well. I'm very sick of it.
Yeah, anyway. Well, we'll talk about it. Tell me what you think the IMDb score is for this right now.
6.9.
I'm going to double check this because
I love a 69.
You do love a 69.
Yeah.
I'm going to check this because the Rotten Tomatoes got changed. No, it's 7.3.
Okay.
Do you want to guess for me the Rotten Tomatoes score? And spoiler, it's not the same as it was when we talked about it last night.
It go down 69.
Now 67. So it's been just like, it was 73 when immediately when it came out. It's just chipping its way down a little bit. 69, now 67.
I get it.
And finally, the Letterboxd score. What do you reckon the Letterboxd score is? Are there things around again?
3. The Letterboxd score is 3.
It is 3.6 out of 5. So
I feel like that's every single one.
I feel like that too.
I'm just going to start saying 3.6 every time for Letterboxd.
Well, this, as you mentioned...
I've calibrated. I've figured it out.
Yeah. People are average on movies.
Yes.
Look, as you mentioned, this is from director Gareth Edwards, who you will know from the likes of Rogue One and Godzilla 2014.
Yep, he's done a bunch of stuff.
Interestingly, when I was doing my research for this, he cited films like the one I just mentioned, Apocalypse Now, Blade Runner, Akira, Rain Man, even E.T. the Extraterrestrial as inspiration for this movie, which you can see all of that in this.
I don't really see Apocalypse Now.
I totally did.
Where?
Like there are so many bits. Like
I guess just because it's set in Southeast Asia, but
not even that. It's like when they were rowing down, like in the rivers, like rowing down the rivers, and there was like a big old plot about like a general going like out of his mind and trying to do his own thing. I was like, this is fucking Apocalypse Now, dude. Sorry, it was John Washington's character sort of followed the Marlon Brando-esque thing of being like, he went off the rails, did his own thing, like went against orders. I saw a lot of that. But as I mentioned, John David Washington is in this as Joshua, who I can't help but say like Rachel from Friends, Joshua. If you hear me say it like that, that's why. It's got a great cast, though. Madeline Una Voiles as Alfie, who we're going to talk about because I thought she was phenomenal in this.
Yeah, dude.
Gemma Chan from The Eternals is back as Maya. There is a bunch of people in this. Oh,
that's what she's from.
Yes, there's a bunch of people you'll recognize in this. Ken Watanabe's in this. You also have Ralph Inson, who you'll remember from fucking every film we've talked about over the past year. He was the Green Knight, etc. Very, very good.
Yep.
I did my best, right? So I want to bring Goofy IMDb pick back in a big way. And I'm waiting for a really good one to like hit you up with.
Okay.
There are none in this fucking movie. I was really annoyed. Everyone looks so normal.
Class X. I mean, it's aesthetically pleasing, this movie.
Let's talk about the movie then. Yeah. What's the plot first before we get into that?
The West and the East are in a war over AI.
Who would have guessed?
So not very different from today. With very different opinions on its future role in society. After a nuke goes off in LA that is for which AI is blamed for, I guess I should say, America has banned AI and is in a war to eliminate it from the world. And New Asia, China.
I like that New Asia thing. That was interesting. Yeah.
Are forward thinking on AI.
Was
right?
it China? Was China involved in that? Because I'm
just saying like China.
Yeah.
Like it is. Yeah. It's like, it's like the mod,
They did like a map. It's not wasn't in there.
But it's not like Vietnam, became New Asia. China became. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that at this point in time, New Asia are forward thinking on human rights. So a lot has changed
AI rights.
The next, by extension, a lot has changed in the next 200 years to make this pivot, but not sure if Gareth Edwards has been paying attention to modern news, but who am I to judge? And we follow the protagonist himself.
We do.
An American agent, John David Washington, as he ventures across enemy lines to stop a super weapon, of which we do not know what it is, that could change the tide of war. And as he does this, like any protagonist, he confronts his own regrets, biases, mistakes, and humanity.
You okay over there?
That's my plot summary.
You're getting so into this. Look, this is a stunning film.
Yeah,
Man, everything about this, I was like, this is so beautifully shot. I think you even turned to me at one point in the cinema and like, fuck, this is beautiful. I was like, you can just tell everything is real.
It was very well done. Yeah.
Like,
how much money did this cost?
That's a good question. You keep talking and I'll find that out.
It is a extremely, extremely aesthetically pleasing film. It's hitting all the right Instagram angles. You're just like, whoa.
Wow, it's only $80 million budget. That's insane.
Somebody did a really good job with the CGI.
Well, okay, we'll talk about CGI.
And not even just that, just like the aesthetic design, is very well thought out. It's very uniform. The storyboards on this, people whoever did those was on par. It basically looks like they're let's create all these great, beautiful scenes with this great futuristic AI, robotic, future technology aesthetic, and then fit a plot inside.
I don't know. I think there's a step before that. I think they've gone, let's find the most beautiful scenery to take some massive, beautiful, wide shots of.
That as well.
Subtly layer over some, extra bits of AI. I mean, the cities are different. When you're in the cities, it's different.
Yeah.
But most of it's set in quite rural areas. I don't know.
The architecture is
We're talking sort of, a lot of this was set in Thailand and you can really tell. And it was filmed there. And some of the fucking visuals are just super powerful. But something about this film just didn't 100% connect with me.
I agree about the film, but the aesthetic did.
Oh, the aesthetic.
I believed 100%. The world. It was fully fleshed out and from a design perspective. It just felt real.
From a design perspective, 100%. 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think there was just something within this, and we might get around to it at some point, that just didn't quite do it for me. But the introduction to the key threads that you were talking about there, I think super interesting. The bomb in LA, the Joshua and Maya relationship, the fight for humanity. They're pretty stock standard sci-fi tropes, let's be frank. And I thought they were quite interestingly done in many cases. The propaganda element of it about, you mentioned, chucking AI under the bus for dropping the nuclear bomb. When was it AI? Who knows?
Well, I would agree that this movie had interesting concepts.
Sure.
That they should have made the forefront of the plot.
Yeah.
Instead, they were one-liners.
Yeah.
But that entire thing, what you just said, that could have been a cool part of this story that they investigate. You feel like that should have been double clicked into way more. And instead it was a one-liner.
And we'll talk about this a little bit as well as we go through. There were a lot of flashbacks in this film. And I think the flashbacks were used not as ways to build the story, but because the initial parts of the story weren't well fleshed out in the first place. So they had to remind you of shit. And we'll talk about it a bit as we go through, but that took me out of this and, it really just lengthened it for me. I was like, if you'd have just done this properly in the first place, set this up well, you wouldn't have to do this.
Yeah, or just do it through character moments. All these movies nowadays think they need to just do a big spiel to set the tone. It's No, you could literally like trust the viewer to get that from conversation.
But I get they did,
and that makes it more interesting because you're like, what happened? And like you're intrigued. You get on your like, I got to figure this out. Whereas like instead, roll credit. Nuke was dropped on LA.
But I quite liked how they did that. They did it with like a conference, right?
I didn't mind how they did it. Yeah. Like as compared to the other ways it could be done that are bad.
Sure. Yeah.
but it's still not how I would do it.
Sure.
Like you can maybe have that conference as a thing that you see.
Yeah.
That the characters are watching on TV or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's fine.
Sure.
Like it's the anniversary of it and we're watching and he's watching like.
I think that's pretty much what it was. And I kind of like that.
Mm.
I thought it was look, it wasn't as tropey as it could have been. I quite liked it's kind of like a parallel Earth though,
it's still just like the narration. It's like let's start with 20 minutes of narration so you understand what's going on.
Sure.
I just don't like that. I don't think that's the way like good writing's done.
Well, what did you think of the relationship between Joshua and Maya? So John David Washington's character and Gemma Chan's, because that we are like thrown headfirst into that, and they are so in love.
Yeah, it's super cute and then creepy,
and then so creepy,
and it's also creepy because like I just don't believe like. I guess I just don't believe their relationship. How could this guy, who views it this strongly that like they're just robots, fall in love with this girl who obviously
empathize,
is an empathizer?
Yeah, it's mad. And well, this is all within the first 20 minutes of the movie. But interestingly, the movie is set up with this backdrop of war is coming to New Asia, and there is this blossoming relationship between Joshua and Maya, and then all of a sudden we find out that Joshua's effectively trying to find the leader of the AI resistance through Maya, who's a human, and there is a strike on their home by the US military, and Maya is killed. And the story from there is effectively Joshua's, fallout from that, his regrets, him thinking he's out but being dragged back in.
Many a regret, many a angsty moment.
But there's this sort of backdrop of, the US are trying to find this, final boss.
Yeah, they've basically
of AI.
They've heard about a MacGuffin.
Yeah, literally.
And the US has basically this convoluted satellite weaponry that just like barcode scans the earth and just like shoots things. And apparently it's just like really, really powerful. And that's why they're winning.
Big fucking bombs.
But apparently New Asia has a secret weapon, and that's what he's tasked to find.
Yeah. And you know what? Like the setup of it isn't bad. And we're going to talk about performances in just a moment, but there is something that really takes me out of this. There are some really, really good ideas in this film. Like, so for example,
100%.
The reanimation of like a corpse type thing.
100%.
So what you can, there's a great idea of like, you can scan someone's brain after death, and whatever is remaining in there,
depending how recent or how
long they've been there, you can basically download it to a thumb drive, chuck it in like one of the AIs, the synths, which
like
is another.
Bots,
so there are two. We'll just
the Westworld character.
Yes, there are two. There are two groups. There's the synths, which are human-looking robot AIs, and then there are robot chappy-looking AIs. You can pop it in one of them, and it's just that person in the final moments, and that would be fucking horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I really like some of the ideas in this. I like that AI is effectively like pacifist for the most part, but they've been forced into, defending themselves. I mean, that sounds about right.
Yep.
There's a whole spiel about like Neanderthals being killed off by humans. That's a good idea that, this is how they're propagandizing this war. It's good. Like some of the ideas are there. It just doesn't 100% work for me. And I can almost put my finger on why that is.
I know why it is.
Tell me.
For me, it's just overall, I feel like the aesthetic's beautiful, though. Like they had really cool ideas that were just ideas. They didn't flesh out and create something more around something that's novel. Instead, they just like they had these great novel ideas and then just like over rotated on like tropes at like the most surface level.
They definitely did.
And it feels like, if it was just that, it'd be one thing, but it's also, I feel like it's characters, like the characters' motivations were hard to believe and oftentimes conflicting. Like it was just hard to believe that this couple would be here. Its plot points become a bit more unbelievable at times because of that, and extremely overused in others when it's like using tropes. And the world they created, like as beautiful as it was, it's just like too one-sided and easy for the topic material to be engaging.
Yeah.
Like you're never ever like agreeing with the protagonist.
Agreed.
You're like, like in this, the way they've set this up, like AI are like perfect. There's no downsides. Why would you care?
No,
you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too simple. They oversimplify it. There's not enough gray to make me actually empathize.
And the way
I'm like, this guy's just a dick. He wants to kill all the aliens.
But the way his allegiance is flipped.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's no build up. It just happens. Like a scene before.
There's no like pivotal moment.
No, there's none of that. And it's interesting because, tell me if it's just me, but I don't love John David Washington. I
don't mind him. I just think
I'm not
so
sure,
far it's not a lot of depth. Like it's kind of the same guy as the protagonist, but also both of these characters are pretty one-dimensional.
Same.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the material he's been given.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's him. He's very earnest and feels committed. But I don't see any joy in him. You know, when he's like, there's no like love of acting in him. He's not. Something about him just doesn't feel fully invested in any of his roles to me. I don't think
he's had good roles to bite into.
Interesting.
I don't think his characters that he's had have had like any kind of like actual writing that allows him to like his emotive moments to pay off for the viewer.
Interesting.
I don't think it's his acting. I like him as an act. It's believable. Sometimes it's a bit too casual. He's like, oh, fuck.
That's what I mean.
There's some moments like that where I'm like, bro, this isn't like you and the boy. Like, you are an actor.
And like he has these reactions sometimes to things that are happening around him. Casual is the perfect word for it. Like he's in like a war zone and he's like, oh, that just happened. And you're like, dude, like, I know you're a former soldier, but fuck me, man, react.
Is he actually? Or you're just saying
in this? Yeah, he's former military.
No, like he's like the level of intensity sometimes isn't there, but then it is like in the like emotional moments. Like I believed he was sad.
Yeah, agreed, and that's interesting. Maybe it's the action scenes he's not great at. Maybe he needs to move away from that for a hot minute.
I think we'll see. I wouldn't count him out. I wouldn't count.
I wouldn't either. I mean, he's bloody Denzel's kid. He's gonna get roles, but
he is the same character in everything I've seen.
Everything he's
in.
And
like the same moves, the same emotions, like the same face, like he just plays the same dude.
Agreed.
In those two movies, Tenet and this.
Agreed.
Has he done anything else?
There's a bit of trivia we'll talk about in a hot minute. We'll come back to that. But outside of him, I kind of liked pretty much everyone else in this. Like Gemma Chan was a little one-dimensional, but that's the writing of that character. She kind of was there to be fridged in the first place, and then sort of be his motivation throughout the film. But like I talked about.
She's beautiful.
Alfie. She's stunning. Yeah, really stunning. I talked about Alfie in this, who's she's in the trailer. Literally, like, she is the weapon, but is also a child. The weapon. Get everything with guns in the air.
She, like, that
amazing.
Was not very, like, unique as like an idea.
No.
But amazing actress.
Performance.
And, like,
phenomenal.
Great performance. And, yeah, like, one of the things I wish they doubled down on more.
I feel like the AI actress felt more of a human than John David Washington did.
She was very emotive.
I nearly turned to at one point and was like, I wonder if the twist is going to be that John David Washington like has been replaced by AI and doesn't know about it.
It's
AI. I wasn't like, I honestly thought, but then anyway, like, I thought Colonel Howell, who was the Alison Janney's character, she was so compelling. Like she had so many layers to her. Like she'd lost her sons to the AI. She'd been in the combat for so many years. She just wanted to end the war, but like at what cost?
I like her. I liked her. I liked I wish that they would have given her more of a chance to, what's the word I'm looking for? More of a chance to like evaluate and just not be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like to evaluate if this was the right thing.
See
like
some of those shades of gray.
Like a tender moment or like and she just like, she can't let go and she just fails at it. But like you see that conflict. It was a bit too much, and maybe I'm American, but it was a bit too much like G.I. Joe. Everybody's an idiot. Like I get it. America has a huge military and is everywhere, but they are more sophisticated than just the Marines from Aliens too. Like they wouldn't be like this one dimensional.
That was her crew.
And it's kind of frustrating to have it be like add more gravitas, add more nuance, and it will be a better film.
Totally.
Even America will still be the big baddie, but you can give them more oomph if they're actually more ruthless and thoughtful, as opposed to just, we just kill all AI.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's where I got the Avatar bit from in my stupid plot summary. Yeah. She was effectively the bad captain in Avatar.
Yes.
That was her character.
Yes.
With no room for deviation.
But her acting was better in that sense. She had like that one emotional moment.
Agreed.
So you got a little bit more out of it.
And like, but she had emotion in her as well. And as captains, you don't often see that. And I wonder if there's potential they could have expanded on that, but they just didn't.
There was plenty of time.
There was plenty. Speaking of, like, Did you find this movie dragged a little bit?
At the end, yeah. But it was actually so, like, the action was so fucking unique. And, like, the way the weapons, like, it was, like, the design of them. And it was beautiful and not super CGI. And the sound quality.
Yeah, really
like,
good.
The explosions were raw and, like...
Completely.
So to me, like, it did drag, but it doesn't drag the same way I know Aquaman's going to drag. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, it felt, like, visceral and real. And
it was really well executed. Like, everything felt like 20,
like
30 years
guerrilla,
in the future.
grimy,
like it felt like real tech that you could believe we would have in 20, 30 years. Maybe not the actual robots themselves, but like it felt realistic.
Yeah,
like
the art design,
the bombs, like the grenades and stuff they had. We'll talk a little bit more about the weapons and stuff, like maybe in spoilers, because some of it sort of leans into some of those ending scenes. But you're right, the design of them's phenomenal.
Yeah, I loved it. And I loved the sound engineering. I
tell you the thing that took me out of it a little bit, and I think I mentioned this before, but was because they hadn't fully fleshed out a lot of the character motivations, they kept having to do like these little flashbacks. And it just like, you'd be like flicking through a really good scene and it'd be like, this guy was from here in the film. And you'd be like, well, if you'd have done 10 seconds more of him earlier, I'd get what you're talking about.
I just don't understand why they made it like, it feels like they just like they had this story and then just like jumbled it all up. And then like, it would have just been easier if it was a simpler story where we got more time with, you know, the main character in the beginning. We see his biases, like we see him CLA. We see his biases like form. We see how that like drives his life a bit. We like just a linear story.
I feel like
I don't know why we had to like get this like whole like bullshit back and forth thing going on, which just confuses everyone.
Do you think Gareth Edwards watched like a lot of Tarantino before I went into this and just went, fuck, I'm doing that? Because like it was like in chapters. There was a lot of like out of sequence storytelling. There was a lot of that Tarantino, like not as good as Tarantino, obviously, but there was a lot of influence in there I saw.
Yeah. One of the coolest scenes was that when you just hear the radio, boom, 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 everything. No,
when was that?
In its right place. Like it just like Radiohead kicks in and they're about to like drop in and do like some crazy mission. It's like the start of the mission.
Oh, nice. I
remember
that.
Oh, it was so cool. I love that song though.
The soundtrack was pretty good.
And it was like right at the perfect time where like you see all the new sci-fi like weaponry as they're about to, it was cool.
I don't know. I think building on what you're talking about like the synths a little bit more. Yeah. I think like you've kind of got to suspend your disbelief with them a little bit and sort of leading into world building a bit here because they have the potential to grow and grow old. Is that right in this film?
I guess.
Because
they didn't really explain it.
No. Well, interestingly, there were older synths, right? So like Ken Watanabe is not young. So they like older people playing these synths, right? And I think the idea was that Alfie could grow. I don't understand how that physically works. Like, does the metal in them grow? Do they add new parts to themselves? Like, how physically does that work? That doesn't make sense to me. Yes. Don't think about it, I think is the answer. But like
what you just said,
you had to suspend your disbelief a little bit, maybe. Yeah. But it definitely benefits from Edwards, shooting a lot of this without green screen. I was actually doing a bit of research background and like
you can see it that I didn't know that, but like it just looks better.
Like most of it was filmed on location using smaller cameras. You said guerrilla action, guerrilla filming techniques, baby, and all the sci-fi stuff was put in later. I think that really worked for this, especially with the action. Yeah, because a lot of the action that you were talking about is done in like rice fields and shit, or on a beach type thing. And without these beautiful vistas and these sort of amazing wide shots.
Facts.
It doesn't work as well for me.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like the way they did that.
I like the action. And the CGI, pretty flawless, let's be frank. What do you think of the synths having the big hole through the middle of their heads? Like, seemed like a big weak spot to me. I was a bit like, you know how...
I didn't really understand its function.
No.
Like, if it had a function other than just, like, looking that way.
Looking cool and making noises.
Yeah, like, maybe if you saw someone, like, the reason that's there is because, like, when they get a checkup or a fucking upgrade, like, that's an integral part, then, like, okay, yeah, but it just...
Maybe it's so you know who is a synth. Maybe it's, like, humans trying to define what is what. Because there is an...
yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, there is an element in this movie whereby you can give your likeness to... create more AI synth like bodies, right? And maybe it's to just be like define who is who, because there would obviously be paranoia, right?
Yep.
if they came out tomorrow and said, we can make perfectly human-looking AIs, would you not be a bit paranoid?
Yep.
I'd be terrified.
I think that's literally the plot of one of like Fallout 4's storylines.
Many films, video games. But like, I think the idea behind that might have been, let's give them something that makes them very obviously not human.
Yep.
And I don't personally know many humans with big holes through their head. Do you?
Personally, I do not. That are living.
The other bit of CGI I thought I'd mention was John David Washington. He had a couple of limbs missing in this. Did you notice that?
Yeah, they didn't really dig into that.
No, I think that's just from his military past.
Like, I just don't understand why they wouldn't. Like,
pretty seamless though, the CGI on that. Pretty good. I thought the only thing I was thinking was like, is it entirely necessary? Like, I get it. It's some sort of character building, but they didn't expand on it in the movie in any way. So,
no, it wasn't really. I mean, it was meant to be character building, but it didn't really. Like, because the point is like he's using AI and like robot accessories. There's something there. You can dig in with his character, but they didn't even touch it. No.
That's a weird. That's a bit like the iRobot thing, isn't it? Where like he has the robot arm, but he's he hates it because he hates the robots or whatever. For me, man, like there's a lot of good things about this film. I just think it probably dragged a little bit much for me. But do you want to talk tones and themes then?
Tones and themes. I mean, the big tone I got like out of this was like peace comes through understanding. Like like civilization comes through understanding.
Sure.
And that's without going into the spoilers, I think that's the theme. Okay. I don't know how much I can talk about it beyond that, but like you do see everyone that has conflict, everyone that like hates each other, the ones that get over it have become to some kind of understanding of like what the other side is and what they want and why they operate that way. They can understand them and therefore live with them. And when they can't, it's they either refuse to or cannot find understanding.
Can I make a sweeping statement?
Yeah.
I think this movie tried to make a lot of clever or intelligent, I don't know, reflections or like change of perceptions on what people think and just didn't quite hit the mark. Does that resonate with you?
I don't think it hit the mark at all.
What I'm saying is I think it tried to be really clever but didn't quite.
It wasn't even close to being clever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. It
definitely tried. It could have, I think.
It was
missing a legitimate like good twist.
And a good lead. Yeah. My quick tones and themes I had. Look, there's allegories of like, Americans going to war for the wrong reasons. There's scapegoat culture, propaganda and blindly following. There's redemption, loving your enemy.
Yep.
There's a lot going on here. And it's almost too much at times.
You could do more.
It's like
more focus.
Select one, stick with it, Best and worst? 3 best, 3 worst?
Best for me has to be one of the ones is the kid actor.
I got her
Archie
too.
Or whatever his name is.
Alfie. Madeline Una Voiles. Probably is, said very differently.
Beautiful and unique aesthetic.
Well created. Yep, same.
And like the CGI is a part of that.
We got the same, buddy.
Yeah.
It finally happened.
And then
the same
that was like beautiful and unique aesthetic. Like the CGI was like,
super.
I threw that in there. So my third is actually just there's a few really cool new sci-fi concepts that I think they had. And you've talked about one of them, but and they should have doubled down on those, I think.
I think so too. I got exactly the same for best. What do you got for worst?
The plot.
Okay.
Like, not necessarily the plot, like it's execution.
The execution.
Yeah, but like even the plot a bit too. It needed a twist.
Okay. It needed something.
Yeah. Tropes everywhere all the
Just
time.
put your mic down a little bit.
Tropes everywhere all the time.
I got trope heavy, baby.
And I think like the biggest flaw is the oversimplification of a really complex problem, challenge, topic that is topical right now in our society. Leads you to question like character motivations and the plot.
100%.
Like it's just too oversimplified. It's not gray enough. It's not conflicted enough. There's not enough like conflict between like who's right, who's wrong. Like
it's Sith and Jedi. It's no gray area. It's like, come on, give us something. I agree. I had the trope heavy. I had that. John David Washington. Look, there is just something about him
not a fan.
Hasn't clicked yet, and it will. And the other one I had was just like USA. Like it's. I get it. They're the bad guys in a lot of these things, and it's almost a trope in itself at this point of the US being, thinking they're right, but probably not being right. It's like, you can do something more intelligent than this. Like, use what you have. You have good actors here.
Yeah.
So finally, what we do is, before we get into spoilers, we like to talk about our famous rating system. I say famous. One day it's going to be famous. I really hope it will be. And what that is we see the internet has been completely binary, 100% binary. So this is either better or worse than the most average movie that we know of, which to date is Aquaman 2018. Dio, is this better or worse than Aquaman 2018, and why?
It's better because the CGI for a movie that both lack plot and twists and things I really care about, the CGI and aesthetic is more it's just
actually real,
actually good.
Yeah.
And B, it's more uniform. Like it's more more, it comes with more of a,
I like that.
What's the word I'm looking for? They came in with a plan and they executed it, where Aquaman was all over the place.
I agree. Completely agree. 100%. I'd say it's better than Aquaman 2018. It's not far off, though. Like, it's certainly very middling. And I think the things we talked about in terms of, tropiness, leaning too heavily on really obvious tones and themes, and not diving into the interesting ones enough, really let it down a little bit. But it was right there. It had so much potential.
Yeah.
Should we talk a bit of spoilers?
Let's do it. Not much to say, really.
Well, I like the big spoiler of this was that the bomb in LA, which the AIs have been scapegoated for, the whole time was actually caused by a human error. I thought that was so interesting. And it was such a throwaway line.
I didn't really like that, to be honest.
I did. I thought it was
because
great.
I was like, I like the idea of it being caused by a human error, but the way they described it just like shows a fundamental not understanding of like
completely
science. It's like, oh, it was bad code. Well, then like, isn't the AI checking the code? Like what? At what point is it human versus AI when every AI is in everything? Like that. Anyway, the point being, I like the idea that it wasn't an AI.
Well, I mean, it
was a cover up or what?
Yeah.
Like, but they didn't even talk about that. Like,
I feel like it's just another way to start another war, right? To keep
that money pumping. It's manifest destiny. It's like America trying to take California from Mexico by pretending we were fired at. Like 100%. That's I like that as a concept. I just didn't like the execution.
It's one of the areas of the film that didn't get fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
It was a throwaway line.
Yeah.
It's the way Ken Watanabe said it was just so off the cuff. I was like, dude, like, this is interesting. Let's dive into this. And then I guess the next big spoiler was around like the child or Alfie being created to stop weapons, not as a weapon.
Yes.
I liked that concept.
Yes.
And they kind of they dove into that a fair amount.
They did.
But it was, you tell me about this, right? Okay. Let me tell you what the thing that took me out of that was she can affect technology, right? So when she's near...
She's a walking MacGuffin.
Yes. And it is in no way,
she can do anything.
At any point, clarified what exactly she can do. There are times she can change the technology to do whatever she wants. So like there's times when she touches like one of the robots and they're all of a sudden, go through the queue or whatever.
Mate, you can't explain it because it's just absurd.
But like,
it's not a real thing.
Of course.
But like, there's no way to explain it.
But the reason why it took me out was, so there were scenes when you're like, why didn't she just fucking use it? So for example, there is a scene where Joshua re-meets a buddy Drew, again, a time where you're taken out of it because you have to go back and remember who the fuck Drew is.
Yep.
Go and find him in New Asia, and they are in his apartment. The police find them, and these AI police, they go up, they raid the apartment. It's super intense.
Yep.
Big gun battle. Really, really well executed action, actually. Really nice. Drew's AI wife, she gets blown up. So obvious that was a bomb. But she's just in the room. Alfie's there, right? And if she can affect technology around her, they're all AI, they're all machines. Why not just stop them or change them?
Because that's the biggest part that I had trouble with. I haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Why is Alfie helping him for like half the movie? There's no motivation or reason for it. And I guess that's a good answer to your question.
She imprints on him
because she's not really sure what this guy's about. She's not really sure who she should be rooting for. She makes her own decision eventually to help him. But like maybe at that point, like she could easily also be trying to get caught because he's the American stealing her and the Americans want to destroy her.
Yeah.
because she is the weapon.
But he kept her alive for that point. And I mean, like
but whatever. I mean, like she was alive before that. Like,
well, and one of the things you talked about before was there was just like a flip in his character. Like there was just a moment, and it's not fleshed out. There was no gray. There was no and ahhing. It was
originally he's stealing her to help him because he thinks she can help us find his wife. Which there's really no clear reason why that would be the case.
Why she'd help him?
Why she'd help him? Why this little child would know where his wife is? He has no information to suggest that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of plot holes here too. It's like half written. Yeah.
And one thing I'd go back to though is, and you tell me how you feel. I think there might be like an ethical thing behind that though. Like this is me really reaching here. This is me finding a reason. So like why she didn't just stop the AI around her, like just shooting and blowing up that whole apartment. Like she could have just done it with one prey of her hands or whatever she was doing. Maybe there's an ethical thing. Maybe she's like, should I do this? Like, if they're a life form, should I affect them?
Would be interesting if they explored that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I shouldn't have to bring this to a movie. You know what I mean? Like, this should be at least thought about.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. Look, it's an interesting scene and kind of a prime example of this movie not maybe having enough time in the oven.
Yeah. Like, or at least not in the right time in the oven in the right places. Like they obviously spend a lot of time on some things, but
probably does. Well, it's interesting because the CGI, like, why can't all movies look like this?
Yeah,
like you look at Marvel and stuff, like
so
just
good.
use whoever did this. This is great.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess following on from spoilers, then what did you think about the idea that Alfie was a recreation of Joshua and Maya's unborn child that had grown into
quite predictable?
Too predictable. Interesting concept though.
Not sure why it matters.
Well, it made him not immediately murder her, maybe. Like,
but he didn't know that until later.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Like, I get, like, if it's useful for some reason in the plot, or there was something unique about him, or, like, maybe it was symbolic of somebody who, like, really hated machines and somebody who, like, didn't. Like, and they're using that as a symbol. Like, I don't know.
They would have.
I didn't get any of that from what they did.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Completely.
It was just kind of a way for him to maybe, like the kid a bit more.
Without knowing.
Yeah, but he didn't know. So again, like
it's an interesting one because there's so much ethical and philosophical layering on this.
Yeah.
Which could have been explored and could have been, really helpful to this film. And none of it was. I was like, guys, come on. Like I sound like I've been really down on this. I liked this film in general. I did. I liked the action, and one of the action scenes we'll talk about is so the US find a hideout where a bunch of the AI are hiding. And one of my favorite bits of this whole film was like they just got a bigger tank. I was like, how America is this? I was like, the CGI in it was awesome. It's just a massive fucking tank,
sick, bro.
It was huge, the size of a building.
Yeah,
I was like, how? Like a thing I always laugh about in these movies is, and like it's like the T-Rex problem from Jurassic Park. How could that sneak anywhere? That thing was loud and massive. That would not sneak in the slightest.
Well, it didn't really
10
sneak.
Miles away.
They saw the trees coming down.
But you'd see it like 20 miles away on the horizon and you just leave. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But so I guess then the plot progresses and then, they find Maya, who is technically still alive in what looks like a Buddhist-esque temple for AIs. And I liked the twist that she was alive technically, but effectively like brain dead almost. And they were just keeping her alive on ventilation systems because their programming basically said that they couldn't hurt her in any way. So they couldn't let her pass on.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting. I liked that a lot. It was good.
Again, something they could have explored more, but yeah.
Well, yeah. And if the point of AIs is that their program is they can't hurt humans.
Doesn't that defeat the whole point of the plot?
Yeah. The whole bomb in LA thing. Why would they be able to do that? How would they be able to do that?
Yeah.
But I think that was quite a nice tie for Joshua's arc in that, he had to turn the machines off on her life. He had to close that section of her life off. And then they went up to the big space thing. What's it called again? Nomad?
Yes,
and
Nomad.
Then he met her
the big
again.
barcode scanner.
And then he met her again. I was like, come on.
I didn't mind that as like a cute thing, like because they're both dying. But the way it was so convoluted, how the kid just like randomly dragged her out for no reason and then did it. It would have been more interesting if he had it around his neck and he did it himself
to get that last moment.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
Just a minor change.
Anything like so. I guess
I was like, why is this kid like this kid's smart? He knows it's just like why is she driving?
I'm shaking my head over here. I guess the finale of it then is that Basically John David Washington, he's won over by Alfie, sees her as a daughter figure. He sacrificed himself so that she can live. They blow up the Nomad Sky thing, which we haven't really talked about, but it's a bit of a MacGuffin, really, isn't it? Betraying his country.
Cool looking, but yeah.
Yeah, it looked cool. Like the idea of it. And, she goes off to live happily ever after as a free AI, which I can't, the ending of it's not a bad ending. No. It hits all the right spots. I didn't love the fact that Creepo got to see his dead wife one more time.
I didn't mind that. I thought it was crazy how they were all running towards these massive things falling from the sky that were obviously going to explode.
Why were they doing that?
I was like, guys, this is very dangerous.
Yeah. Just hold off for 15 minutes until that thing's landed. Because it was literally falling directly out of orbit, right?
Yep.
So far down.
Yep.
I think ultimately I had a lot of fun with this. It didn't blow my mind, but it was, it had a lot of potential.
Agreed.
I like he tried. It's a big swing. Didn't quite hit. I like that he tried.
I agree. And there's, worse movies I've seen in theaters, so I can't complain.
Definitely. 100%.
Do we have trivia today?
You want some trivia, true or false?
Oh, I do.
I love that you're ahead of me. You go, guy. All right. Trivia true or trivia false, DL? Benedict Wong, who you will know as Wong from Doctor Strange, was originally cast, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. Is that true? Is that false?
False.
Actually true. He would have been the Ken Watanabe character.
Because Ken Watanabe's in all these guys' movies.
He's in everything.
Well, he's in this guy. The director's got 2 with him at least.
Oh, does he?
Outside of this.
Interesting.
So I was thinking that might be false, but you got me.
Okay. Trivia true or trivia false, DL?
Yeah.
Gareth Edwards, the director, he wrote the protagonist character specifically for another actor outside of John David Washington who had scheduling conflicts. Is that true or is that false?
True.
Actually false. It's when he saw him in his movie Monsters and Men in 2018. He wrote this role directly for him. So basically what he did was he wrote a completely empty shell and said, you can do this. Yep. Finally then, trivia true, trivia false. There is an Easter egg nod to Star Trek in this. True or is that false?
True.
It is. That's super niche. Basically, the Enterprise in one of the 1967 episodes encounters a form of AI called Nomad, who is searching for the creator. So pretty big influences there for this movie.
There you go.
Well, thank you for sticking around, DL. Thank you for sticking around, everyone. We really appreciate it. I hope you liked that.
I hope you loved it.
Let us know what you think. You can find us at podcastassemble, thepodcastassemble@gmail.com, www.podcastassemble.com. We're there. Find all that stuff.
Podcast Assemble on Instagram.
We are. Give us a 5-star review.
Give us a comment, a mention.
A mention. Do you want to wrap up the show, DL?
Yeah, big thank you to you, Tommy and Matthew Bliss, for editing and mastering this week's episode. If you'd like to hire someone to edit your podcast, man, Matthew's your guy. Head to MatthewBliss.net and book a consultation today. He's also got a podcast for your listening ears, From My Home to Yours, an expat/repat podcast where Matt and his wife share their experiences and advice for others moving to Ireland from Australia or really anywhere in between. All those expats.
Give Matt a 5-star as well. Yeah, that guy deserves it. While you're there in app giving us the 5-star, just hit up their podcast. Give him one too.
Might as well do it.
They had a latest episode, was out on 3rd of September. Give it a go. You guys will really like it. It's really wholesome. Definitely worth a shout. Thank you, DL.
Thank you, Tommy.
Tally ho, baby.
Tally ho and later skaters.